Good morning. Good morning.
We did not come with anything.
Yeah, actually, like let's like on real life.
Something that you can donate.
Yeah, something you can donate. Usually, like we went to Turkey, and after we left there, we left all the food supply there for the RDC. So if some team will come in and they say, do you have any food? We said we left the food there so they can give the food to the next team, because it was the dry food, you know, just pour the boiling water in and it's done, you know. So you can leave something behind. Maybe the locals need tents. We can leave our tents there. So we're gonna write down like how we're gonna leave something behind.
Food, tents.
Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna do it this on paper, and we're gonna do it this online, digital. You see, who did the last time the fact sheet? Somebody? You did?
Yeah.
So you know we can take the fact sheet. So I can see we are in country. Have you done this fact sheet from this device, or you did it from the tablet?
We're in the tablet.
Okay, we can do it again from here, no problem. Just collect fact sheet. Collect. We're gonna do it.
Right here. With this one?
Yeah.
On my direction?
Yeah, you just put it in your team. Like, just yes, Swaziland. Yeah. And we can do the same numbers here also, because I'm just making like, you see, at the same time, because I'm gonna give them the hard copy also. I'm doing this one and the hard copy, because this one goes to the ICMS, so the ICMS sees we are leaving. If I do only hard copy, the ICMS will not see that we are leaving. So I can say like, okay, this is because I have already done it for a file. Like, I'm just like this. Okay, 01, team name is Uza. No, you have to do this one. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And number of persons, 42. Type of responding.
So we are electing.
Yeah, you bit Swazi user. We if you use Swazi user. You were right. So INSARAG classification for me, yes. For you, it was no.
Nine.
Yeah, you had 9.
Yeah, like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you mention or we have an helmet mission?
No. That's what you didn't have. Yes.
So I was just saying technical search, rescue, medical. Also, no. How can I forget this question?
Is that children's age? Yes. Yes. Can I?
No, we said we don't have canine.
Rescue? Yes. Next? Medic? Yes. Administration? Structural? Yes.
Team of
Support? RBC? No.
Here is structural engineering. How many you had? You had only one. Yes, we had also one. You opened it for editing? No. You. Just you. Okay, you can do it here. It's easier. Yeah, because you did it here. Just close this one. We're gonna do it like edit and resend. Now you can update. Now you can fill this one by this one because this was the first one you did. Then you have the right. Then you have the right data.
Date is this one. Period, arrival time. Point of arrival.
The field contact is like team leader name.
No, more you know about sketch. Like if you patient directly, more with victim form, victim extrication, something when I'm more in sketch, more in the team. So also now if you maybe really like, I don't know what for evidence purpose. So more really age I want to sketch.
So question I want is so how like agar mungkin awe 2020 most sketching how going to market direction or the flow la second
no I want to go on
the flow la
yeah go fast
but mon na to say well mo sa ke tiri I get to see don't get but agar sante ke I'm sorry on good to see
do you understand so
but like I you say more get we I get to say don't
no renyo go no boncha but usually Sorry, no Mariana, yeah, or we born with
Marion,
no, I didn't go to come aside and I don't want to river if you look at him. I got it down. Upstream forward. Yeah.
But then, if you want to picture, upstream upstream.
Yes. More, yeah, when you more in your rough sketch. Yeah. Because Langaria Aero still go to get it here. Because hotel will be bridge, then how will it? That's why majority no one and how will we start. So the game will be sent one upstream and downstream. Or no.
Last day of ops, just play this day at 4, and let's say 11 o'clock. We're gonna end all operations like 11 o'clock today. So, and
the meeting is gonna be the same.
yeah, put this date here, like the last day is like 4 December 2025 and 11 o'clock. Expected departure. Again, we have to just imagine. Let's say you're gonna depart tomorrow morning or
Tomorrow late, let's say.
Let's you just say like our flight is going in tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's say like something like that.
And
7 in the morning, yes. Just let's say like that. You see the date and time is on the different road. Here you just put the date, 7, not the 5th December, yeah, the 5th December, and on the, no, and the departure time, 7. Point of departure. Yeah, I'm using this David Sturman with Port Elizabeth Airport. Put Port Elizabeth Airport. And like flight information transport here, and here you're gonna put the, I don't know, Airbus 320 and Airbus 320 and flight number. Flight number, that's just imagining and like AB 123, something like that. 123. And the aircraft type is like Airbus
Nothing.
Living good.
Nothing. We didn't have food. It's very about nine. The 9 for you, you know. Yeah,
You can say like 1 tent, your own living tent. It's easier to go back then.
So this shows us Gqeberha.
You can put here
Well,
also.
to our level, you never know. But we have to search the place. And then we have done patient is what we did. Another patient was the other one was
Contact, maybe you have already anybody there.
Yeah,
Then it's nothing.
5.
Classification. Now we know. Information.
No, here it was one. No, it was 2 victims, one dead, one yes. And then here it was 1 victim, a victim.
So what do we do with the deceased? We rescue the alive patient and then the deceased leave them there.
No, firstly, normally, what we do now, firstly, we put our record. Our record is when you go to identify everything that is going on. We're going to send a specific team of 4 maybe. Here we're going to use aquatic and swift people who know how to swim. Then after the recovery, because we gather information how many people that are missing and dead. Then after that, then we send the whole team and we do the search and rescue. Even if you only find a disease, you have to take him out or her. But sometimes those people, we don't know them, so we'll write them as unknown, and so that we can identify for a reason, we're gonna write a number next to him, close to the
To the body.
Yes, no, with the backing deck. Because it's an unknown, so we just want maybe the female can come and identify. So next to the
Government using the fingerprint.
And after that, we're gonna take the paper.
If we have a camp, sometimes we use our base, then there's a hospital on our camp, or maybe we take them to the hospital.
No, not necessarily our base, but then the bee.
So we're gonna find
Remember our
the
base
PC,
is
we're
4
gonna
hours for us,
give them
but then
notice that we are leaving,
the country that
say
will be
that
assisted
everything is
probably
updated.
the field hospital. So
Now,
sometimes we even take the deceased there, but it's the cost. You remember, there are patients that
we're gonna send it to the outbox and
there by
it's
the
going to be
hospital,
making
so
so it's
we also gonna take them there. And
so
the
it's say
approach
it's
to
not getting internet.
the state mortuaries haven't been there for this thing. So hence the taking of the
So we can go.
of the dead bodies.
Meanwhile, you will wait
So do we do
only with the DV, you're waiting here, and after that we're gonna put our
At a later stage. Because our only job is just to save and cover.
Yeah. But then in this situation, since there's the rescue,
Because it's because of this.
that rescue, those who can easily access in the rescue, that they put those that you can get them freely as quick as possible, unlike to start those who are vulnerable and which is going to consume a lot of time. And it's going to require special people. It's going to prolong our rescue also.
now why the patient
As
after
many people as we can.
Some are quiet, some are talking. So the one who's quiet, there might be no life. So you start with the swimming one. You better shout.
Sometimes in our case, when the building collapse, the most important one is the one who's alive. If you can be amputated, your hands amputated, and this one maybe it's 5 to like maybe there's a chance like maybe it can last.
The boundary
But
of
the most important person is this one because you know you can save you immediately.
you can live through it.
This one when leaving, they will come after when
The population again.
the population.
Yeah, Nas.
getting your audio, Pumlan.
Morning, everyone. Sanibonani. Good morning. Goeiemorgen. Assalamu alaikum. Kayfaulik. Alhamdulillah. Okay, colleagues, what we are going to do now, and then we are just going to give the platform and then to our UN OCHA, and then Secretariat, Mr. Kalonga, and then to come and lead, and then the debriefing. What we are going to do first is we just want to check if all the members are inside. We don't want anyone to be behind on this one. Can maybe one member check if there are no people this side? That must be in here for us, and then before he can start. Yes. No, actually the day that we have been waiting for has arrived, and then we just have to get to this exercise, and then members can part. I've just greeted them before, okay. Okay, I guess we are all here. And good morning to everyone present in the house. And then I said we are all welcome and then to be here. Well, gentlemen, I've greeted everyone except yourselves. Can I greet you? Assalamu alaikum. Kayfaulik? Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Colleagues, in short, we have been called here and then by the whole team of organizers. And then we are just going to give a platform to our UN OCHA and then a secretariat, Mr. Clement Kalonga, and then to definitely lead us in terms of the debriefing of the whole exercise quickly. And then after, I think we'll be giving the platform to our colleagues from UAE. And then it looks like they also want to make a short speech, and then to us, and then but they will come after Mr. Kalonga. Mr. Clement, can you please come forth there? Thank you.
Afternoon, colleagues. My job is simple, to just look at some of the learning and evaluation of the exercise, and maybe the next steps from this afternoon to tomorrow. Maybe before going to the slides, I want to thank all of you for participating in the exercise and us to give ourselves a good index club. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the exercise. Okay? And I'm so proud that we all in different functional areas and in different roles and responsibilities, we pulled our weight to ensure that it was a successful exercise. And so at this point, we want then to focus on learning and how we can harness. Your thing is not, can you change the slide for me? This is not, okay. So in terms of the guideline, the INSARAG guideline for conducting earthquake response exercises, the version 3, they set out a framework for which we could use to harness some sort of learning and evaluation exercise. And our A bit of technical questions around the sessions, how they're being delivered, and how you're comprehending them, and what you're learning or what should be changed, so that we are able to be tracking the way you progress with your feelings and your learning and your participation in the exercise. So there were three the findings, and already ExCon had access to try and improve the design of the exercise onwards, or to incorporate some of the suggestions that were coming through in the exercise. The second aspect ask. So we will also consolidate that, because that learning is not only for you. There are people that did not participate in the exercise. That's future exercises, and more importantly, not only for in future deployments. So for example, if something that went so well in the RDC process, you need to factor that in your future exercises, but also when you deploy. So at least for team, for example, for Team South Africa 01, you must have picked up a few of best practices and having a proper team sheet on, maybe it's UNDAC, you know, setting up the OSOC and managing meetings with different stakeholders. So there were, and there should have been task-oriented reviews that will consolidate on best practices and some things that need to be changed or to be improved. So tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we will give you a QR code of the post-exercise survey. So this particular one is a bit different from the daily surveys. It will have a little bit more questions. It takes only 2 to 3 minutes for you to fill, but it will also ask you a few other questions that would help the INSARAG family to improve when we're doing exercises, but also not only limited to the exercises, but more importantly, if we are working on different systems. Now, tomorrow we'll also have a small workshop when we come back from seeing the warehouse for Rescue USA, where now each one of you will go into a smaller group per function area, and the function areas are UNDAC, International User Response, National User Response, local responders, to then discuss what worked well, what should be improved, and what are lessons. So this is now giving you a final opportunity, and you're not in the exercise environment, you are yourselves, and you would have reflected by today what you thought worked well. So I'm encouraging you tonight, as you walk around this afternoon, think about what thought worked so well in your function area, what to improve moving forward, and what are the key lessons that we're learning from this process. So that will be done tomorrow. So have an hour of those function workshops, and then we'll have discussions. So we're like them around. We have a colleague from the UK, ISA, Search and Rescue Team from the UK. They've been observing and doing a little bit of QA. They will share with us their observations, which we'll put as an annex to the report. They've run exercises, and so they came to see how this exercise is running to also give us feedback. And then we will then have a ExCon evaluation. So this afternoon, we will start off with a quick hot wash of ExCon while people go to exhibitions. And then in January, we'll have a video call to try and reflect further on how this whole thing went. Next slide, please. So, as I said, so we'll start with the hot wash. Maybe what I could do is just a view of the program tomorrow. Can you do next slide? So I'll just give you the next one. Okay, so this will be the functional areas. So we will ask UNDAC first, and then we'll ask ExCon that will be supporting the user teams and national user teams to give feedback during this LX wash. So 1 or 2 minutes of each of these functional areas will feedback plenary. I'll just invite them to the mic, and that will be the end for today. So the hot wash is not long, just really meant capture things that they thought worked well that we need to have. Next slide, so we just have a look at, and this afternoon then the ExCon after lunch will go for 30-minute kind of debrief of the exercise, while our colleagues start going to the exhibition area, and then of course the ExCon can join the exhibition after that. And then, then tomorrow, just to give you a preview, so we all come here in this auditorium. There'll be transport provided, because I think the warehouse is in the Nelson Mandela University. I don't think it's very close to us here. So transport will be provided for all participants that are going to the house. There'll be, we'll see the cash for Rescue USA, And there will be 2 presentations about the work of Rescue USA and the work for the University of Johannesburg Urban Rescue Laboratory. Then we'll come back and have tea. And we'll have our colleagues from PCPM who share a small presentation, or a brief presentation about their work in Kenya and in Africa. And then we'll open an opportunity for updates from USAR teams. If there's a training you're organizing in your country or there's an event you want to invite, I already received some updates from the team in the UK, I'll share in the time, so we can have updates. And then around 10:30 to 10:30, that's when we'll go into the function area breakout sessions. So findings where all these can go and discuss. And then they'll come back at 11:30 to make a brief presentation based on the findings of the discussions. And after that, we'll do a final 5-10 minutes slides of the final evaluation, just to give a reflection of the feedback we got finally in terms of the final survey of the evaluation. So that's how it looks tomorrow, and that will be the end of the day. So going back, if you go back, so I'll for the next 10 minutes then allow the feedback from the mentors and ExCon leads across the areas, the areas, give you a preview of how they felt you performed and how the exercise was done. So without further ado, I will invite Lavinia, who's going to speak on behalf of UNDAC. Please back up.
So I've only got minutes, I was told. Where's my UNDAC people? 1, 2. There's only 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, we were a very small team. And in taking into consideration, there were only 4. 2 trained UNDAC members, 1 fairly newly trained, and 1 quite well-seasoned trained UNDAC. And then, thank you to the non-trained UNDACers. They really did well. I mean, they were a lifesaver. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had OSOC. So, and I need to really take that into consideration. All their tasks were carried out. All the inputs were carried out. For me, they showed amazing teamwork. And they really got into the exercise. So they didn't like, sometimes people may say, this is just exercise, I'm not going to do the task. So they've emailed me the task, they've done everything they need to do. I'm not sure about the situation report, but I'll check it now. Things to consider, there's templates in the UNDAC toolbox that can be used. That takes a lot of time. So that's one of the considerations the teams must take into consideration. I'm repeating myself. And then what we saw initially, the deputy team lead was taking lead more so than the team lead. But Lebon, you stepped up. Exercise started to, get further and further. Notice today and yesterday, you started taking the lead, which is a good thing, because it's also a learning process for everyone. It was a learning process to the 2 non-UNDAC members, and I think they can take a lot of experience back to their own centers and to their own disaster management space. So while guys, thank you. We need a photo just now. Thanks.
Thank you, Lavinia. And INSARAG, I like twin, and UNDAC was born in 1993. But these 2 networks have pushed the agenda of collaborative and systematic response to emergencies globally. I have been to many organizations and secretariat to say, if you want to fix your emergency and disaster management systems, don't go far. And INSARAG, because there's no system like such. And so thanks to the UNDAC team that came, South Africa has about 4 people that are through the UNDAC system, and only about 4 that are active now. One of the things we're doing, and we've been discussing this SADC, is that we could use the UNDAC methodology to train national response teams. And I think we've done this before with NDMC, and in future time resources allowing, because everyone has asked us, why is this it's so hard getting UNDAC? We every year applications that are above we can afford. I mean, this year we had a global in Kenya. We only target 35 people, maybe 30 this time around. We had 650 applications. Many people want to get in UNDAC, it's not one. But what we've tried to do is to take it to SADC through the SADC emergency response team, and I see a few of you that are part of the SADC system. Resources are permitting, and the discussions with SADC is that we can try to pilot taking UNDAC to the national level. You can now have a national emergency response team based on UNDAC methodology. And then you have an analyst that you could use to mobilize your team to respond. So we may have that maybe with Botswana, if it gets resources, discussion happening. And probably these days with NDMC's discussions, that could be brought to South Africa and also. But we want to thank response.
Thank you very much. So I'm only going to address the RDC. So just some highlights. Like Lavinia said, we have 2 minutes. First, I'd like to mention the role players who played Immigrations and Customs and Airport Authority. I don't know if they're in the room. I want to say thank you very much. You did an absolutely outstanding job, which made it easier for the teams to take this very seriously as soon as they walked through that door. And I was looking at the teams and I could see the expression on people's faces. I could tell that people would take that very, very seriously. And the participants were fully engaged. Also, I want to praise the participants in doing a great job in something that some of the teams weren't expecting to do, like set up an RDC. Some teams expected, I did not, but you were all very willing. And for some of the small teams, we put you together, also to allow opportunity for cooperation. You're big, you were a team of yourself, same with South Africa. But when we saw you working together, that was really good to see working together. And then for all teams, using the limited resources you had to do the best you could. So for feedback, we just let you continue. Like I said, we realized we had limited resources, but if there's anything we felt that needed to be corrected, we did that on the spot. If you had any questions, then you came to us. Maybe the one thing that we should have done beforehand was give each specific names, so that when you were putting things on the virtual sock, you had your own name. That's excellent for us. Carried out all talks and all the injects, and you all accepted very well when you explained this artificiality that we would have multiple RDCs, and then it would just rotate through round robin to do the processing. Just went really well. I don't really have any kind of comments, just that exercises like these are great to help you to figure out your own strength so that you can go back and use what you found weakness to use that to improve yourself. And finally, I want to thank you very much for my excellent team. It was great to work with you.
Yeah, so international user teams are the main ingredients of any response. So if such magnitude of earthquake or impact of a cycle happened in South Africa, could analyze it better, because they'll come and know that I know Team South Africa, I know Eastern Cape. So the familiarity that we have created in the exercise is very helpful. Teams that went to Turkey that knew each other, they found it easy in very harsh conditions. The weather was not good. There was some efficiency and better working relationships in an actual emergency. So this is very helpful for the international user teams that came. Thank you so much. I'll invite Charles to come and reflect on how the national user team performed. Oh.
All right, good afternoon. A little bit fluish. So I've been working with Gqeberha, and then I will request him to share the update. I missed the activities that occurred yesterday, but we started to get our monitoring both international and the local team. What I can say in short before Gqeberha is that in terms of the local team, we have observed that the international team are very supportive, particularly on the ICMS. The local team had not had sufficient time and training for ICMS, but the international teams were very helpful to ensure that there is training when the work is ongoing. And to me, that's something that I want to appreciate a lot. It happened in our sites, both the teams from the UAE, Russia 01, and us that at were able to assist in that space. I would just give Gqeberha to finish the last portion.
Thank you much. And finally, I'm happy and I'm lucky to be part of this exercise. And it's very good that we didn't lose a good opportunity for this, because we have a chance for training all teams by Emirates, by Malaysia, Estonia, and we have good opportunity for training for the first side. It's very good. And finally, we had a lot of injects, but I didn't use all injections because not all time for training departments. So it's very okay. I would like to say thanks for all international for giving opportunity for train our local partners. Thank you very much for this. But it wasn't very good. But for our workshops, of course, almost always silent. It's bad, because in the real situation, it's a good tool for always used. And so pity to see how this tool wasn't used properly. ICC also, it was organized by classified, by local team, and by Emirates teams, but it was very organized. It was operational center, so it should be operational management, logistic management. It wasn't done at all. It was we didn't have, for example, it's just bigger for time. Also, the meetings wasn't how to say managed very properly, because in meetings, so we should have agenda. We should have internet tradition. So just instead try to think about this. One more thing, but anyway, yes, our was small, all team was small, but anyway, we had preparation, and only local team was South American, African team, or like vice versa, no, it was organized vice versa. But anyway, I'm happy about everything was very well, and many for organizers, for help, for support, for my printing, and public everything for food. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the UCC flag was stolen and was brought to the X1. And the people in the UCC did not notice that the flag had been stolen. So, as Gqeberha said, always be careful what's happening around. Now, for LexCon, there's a lot of people saying that I'll invite colleagues and Teresa will come and just give feedback to the local response, possibly Lema and LexCon. And you come from the Gqeberha Collective, thought you guys in this. So, how should I start you there? Okay, let me invite you to Lema. Please.
Good morning, everyone. I think I need to say, I think we all know each other by now, and also thank you for the opportunity to share our experience and observations. So, in terms of the macro, we had a discussion yesterday and this morning again. So, I just basically take through. On day one, I think the teamwork has been created in all over a year and there, but that ends with any major event, you know, you don't just get somewhere and start organizing things, so it starts chaos, and then we found order. So, basically, on the second day, you could see where people were starting to take on the roles, so the coalition started to improve. What we also saw is the Lima X1 resources weren't properly captured. Remember, disaster, there's certain things you know, certain things you don't know. So, in terms of resources, you as the emergency officials, you would know what you had, locations, areas of vehicles, manpower, and so on. You know, your aviation deployment, there was SAPs, there was US, which is, they do helicopters, there was transport. So, actually, now I was saying we mentioned it because when you do damage assessments, one of the fastest ways is to do it by aerial support. Data sync requires strong teamwork because you are in our physical sectors and people don't know each other personally. But in those situations, the characters, you know, we're all different cultural leaders, but at certain places, you need to work there, like you don't know. So, it requires multi-sector cooperation. The concern was also put over that they did quite well. This is basically, I was also part of the group that was sitting with the maps and the structure of buildings. And one point, Mr. Craig came in and put pressure on us to say, guys, they're already on section A unit, right? So, we were also present at fashion. So, maps came through, but late. And then there was also a point where things were moving slow to the work sites. I think there was 5 or 6 out of 40 at a certain point by managed come through. But we also observed that your settlements were activated. Remember, when there's disaster, you social development, your human settlements, because people to be there with emergency shelters, Department of Education, can assist with schools and all. Realistic roles and responsibility of each department. The room so that the artists of use was not used because everyone is sitting to the front, so difficult always to look back at discussions. So that all had an effect on the actual incident meetings. It's also vital with the group to identify one person from each and every sort of group in an area that starts pretty large group. So it was just improve communication and synchronize activities. It's all very candidate. So I influence the comments there, if you remember for, we just fact that Nelson Mandela started in fact 5. So we would have loved to see some more of your finance office in the municipality supply to form part of them. It's issues like emergency procurement, disaster. And a lot of times your state finance office, they don't understand what we do. It's good to have an official right on site that they can operate and see up things. Some coalition mechanisms. Municipalities should show updated resources are submitted and that biologistics focuses on. So immediately when you can from the resources for them, and I also talk to your incident and mention. As the institute also saw there, we need to have full agreements municipalities because disasters like some cross-border event. No time to get them municipal managers, planners, it must be pre-arranged inside. It's just so that organized scenarios unfold. And then as the last point, we saw the need then for college one I see explaining, but not only but need to now start developing and implementing incident command. So that's just my side. As a member of the province of Africa, I would like to say thank you to the additional participants, the local participants. It was definitely a great experience in all of us. From our province, but implemented in the beginning because we didn't understand so but I think from that we have definitely gained a lot. I think back more, so that's it.
So I think that both the lemma cannot be emphasized because the engine is up and you're bad, so you're eating and affected at the same time. The chaos is expected because most of you, ideally, you've been, you've lost loved ones, you've lost properties, no hand-affected, and then you under lead in response. So it's also very difficult to local emergency authorities because then you have more than support the people at the same time. It's very difficult. But I have Malvin. Oh, we start first. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Those of you that actually say good afternoon. So a few from ACON side we felt that well is communication between ACON members and the communication between ACON members and the members that participated. The willingness to help and guide from the international ACON members to the South African ACON members, we saw that and thank you for that. Because there was also suggestions and questions that was sent away that we didn't You're
busy cooking it, and sometimes you cook it and it doesn't come cooked, then you throw it away and then you have to cook it again. So thank you so much, and I think ExCon, all of you, you did a good job. So let me invite Paul from the UK. They were observing and they would give us an independent opinion on how they felt the exercise went.
First of all, hello everyone. Thank you for making me and my team feel part of your rescue response family. Without doubt, the hospitality has been fantastic. It's not always the case everywhere you go as an observer that there's smiley faces, because obviously people feel like they're being watched. But I hope that the team brought the element of advice, knowledge, expertise to assist you, and the development of yourselves across the days of the exercise was clear to see. It got better and better as the days went on, which is what it's all about. This is a learning experience, yeah? The learning was clear to see, your knowledge and understanding improved. So that was the best thing about this. Teresa, you're a machine. The way you work, definite machine. I think Teresa deserves a round of applause. Yeah, it's been great. And again, pat yourselves on the back. This is your first one, okay? There's some teams that do lots of these, regular. They get better every time. If you look at some of your international guests, Solveig, you travel all over the world. How many EREs? God knows. But they get better, okay? And again, you're in at the deep, yeah? So now that you're part of that umbrella, the advice and expertise is there for you to reach out for, okay? Regards to us as observers, I think what we've seen from where you're coming from to where you're going to go is great, And you're right, it's the things. It's the things that you mentioned, some of the small details. For instance, some of the pictures had Miller on. We know Miller's not near here,
But next time going forward, in preparation for the grid references, the what 3 words, location, the names will be correct in the paperwork. And small things make the differences to teams that go, well, hang on, the grid references don't match. Well, of course they don't. But we can improve that every time. And you'll build up a massive folder of disasters that you can pull out at every opportunity. And please do continue to do the integrated learning, the integrated training across the regions. As a nation, as an international team, you know about the workshops that are available to you globally. Please do involve yourselves in those, okay, if you can. And if not, reach out. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to writing the report for Clement. Please shared, just so you're aware, Clement shared your feedback form from every day. And across that, we can look at and see is there a pattern, or there's something that we might have missed because we can't be everywhere. But also, it gives us your honest reviews of what you've seen of the exercise. And it's difficult because it's just too much of an exercise, isn't it? Yeah? We're sheets of paper, with disaster, there's nothing physical for us to assess. It's difficult. You know, when you put a whole exercise together, like a classification, like a reclassification, you will see the difference that brings, because it's more realistic. But still a fantastic effort. I've enjoyed my time here. I will try and come back, not work related, for a holiday, and enjoy and enjoy the food, the company, the smiley faces, and the country even more. Thank you all.
And thanks to you, Paul, and your team. And part of the network's benefit is that, you know, beyond INSARAG's coordination in countries to have kind of relationships. Paul has been, and his team been in Malawi. Malawi had floods, Cyclone Freddy, and they went to respond, and they identified needs as a UK ISA that they needed water rescue, and they've been helping out with capacity development. And we want to see such kind of, you know, you have colleagues from Estonia, from UAE. I mean, through Secretariat and facilitate bilateral type of capacity development. The team from Poland is, the heavy team, INSARAG team from Poland is helping in Kenya. Good helping for the Kenya team. UK is also helping another team in Kenya from the army for them to go towards INSARAG classification in the coming years. So I think that's very important that we develop these bilateral relationships. I would want to see the international teams come back to East and get to work with the dilemma and helping them in some things, you know. And also invite them to the UK, to Estonia, to Iceland, to UAE, you know, to Malaysia. You know, invite them to come and participate in exercises, but also participate in trainings, and that's what builds the network, and that builds strength in terms of shared knowledge and shared understanding. So the last person to give us the feedback is just a colleague from the NDMC, and after that, I'll hand over to Japi, the Director of Proceedings, to invite our colleagues from UAE to do the gifts. Roland, do you want to come in and share your feedback from the host institution?
Thank you very much, Clement. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. Sunday, when I stood here, I was very nervous. I did not know everybody. But today, as I'm standing here as a servant of Urban Search and Rescue and as a willing participant in the INSARAG global community, I think I stand here amongst friends today. I want to thank you. I'm not that nervous as I was on Sunday when I received you. Colleagues, my remarks this morning comes from a position of thankfulness, a position of saying to you that as a country, our eyes have opened to the things that we might not necessarily have been fully aware of how our role in the global community of INSARAG can be improved. And we want to thank everybody that came here from across the borders, from across the provinces, and from across municipalities to really come impart and share with us, bring your knowledge to the table, and allow us around the table with you so we can to absorb the knowledge that you are aware of, so that tomorrow, when we find one another in the field, we can do so on an equal footing. Colleagues, as we conclude today this earthquake response exercise, I think it's my honor and a pleasure to stand in front of you on behalf of the National Disaster Management Center in my capacity as operational focal point for INSARAG and UNDAC. And I think I want to thank you just before I do my speech as well for receiving me well over the last few years. This is actually the first time when I've met face to face. And we have been dealing with one another on emails. And I want to thank INSARAG, Clint and Martin and the team, Sebastian, for the absolute support they've been giving South Africa. Started with the men and women in red that you see here to the left. When was it, 2017? Yeah. But it actually started in 2014. Some of us have passed away. The late Joti, people know him. He was one of the groundbreakers that we all INSARAG together. And Jurgens is on the airport at the moment. It was a us in South Africa that at the time, our UNDAC training, we were approached by the likes of Australia, the likes of the UN in South Africa, to say, what about doing that? But it's a story for another day. The price South Africa sitting in front of you, where it comes from, is not necessarily an issue anymore. Note to going. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, colleagues, when we made a part of this program, the DG, when he gave his speech, he reminded us preparedness is the foundation of resilience. And I think that's the absolute fundamental building block upon which we have built the repositioning of fire services in the country. Dr. Kanali, when his team, when they designed the white paper for fire services and it was promulgated in 2020, it was designed in such a way that there was a complete new paradigm shift was built into how South Africa perceives, how Africa receives, and how we deal with fire services, manages them in the country. And the fundamental principle there is to ensure our communities are fully aware, fully resilient. Prevention, better than cure. So what you are seeing here today, colleagues, over the last few days, is our attempt to begin to prevent, mitigate, make sure our institutions, our governance systems, our response systems, our members that you see here in front of you today, that we are fully aware of what they require. We can give them the necessary tools, we can give them the necessary training, the necessary assistance, so they can become more resilient models for our communities. When we have collapse structures, we have adverse weather conditions, when we have flooding conditions and rescues needs to be happening, that effort that we put in here today can then collectively with the hands and blood and tears that you brought across the waters and across provinces, that we can jointly then say, at least, we've made impact, we've improved lives and the safety of our communities through the capacity of our teams within the country. The ERA has affirmed 3 critical things that we as an NMC wanted to test and make sure that there's absolute alignment. Number 1, we are in a country where it's adverse poverty. Our economical outlook is not good. Our job prospects are not so good. Poverty in our communities is very, very bad. When you put disasters on top of our poor communities, you superimpose that impact. On top of that, you have an even worse off community at the end of the day. So what we want to get today is, or over the last few days, is to really put together a system to advance the changes in our system to such a degree that what you've seen on television in 2022 with floods in that we are in a position as a country to make sure that the respondents that we responded to, or the victims that we responded to, if our system changes and enhances with the next few years, the same crises and conditions happens to the same people, that will be in a better position to rescue them earlier, or even aid them not to build areas where they should not be building, and overall to make sure that as we deal with the disaster management reviews that we are busy with, that our urban search and rescue and our search and rescue component and our medical health and the overall humanitarian systems are also growing and are also being reviewed. The second one is recognizes that the network in INSARAG, it remains a cornerstone for international stability, and we need to play our role as a country. We are partners in various shapes, forms, with signatories to various agreements, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is an extension of that willingness to continue to be a partner. And we thank you as a global community for staying South Africa and really coming to the fore and bringing your hard work, your knowledge, leaving families behind, and sharing a few days us here in the country to deal with us, to help us learn and deal with us in that manner. Thirdly, we wanted to ensure our multi-sectoral response. We wanted to make sure that there is a good understanding of what the multi-sectoral coordination and operational response is going to be like. The engine, I deliberately say out of Lima at some points. I walked and I could see what was happening there, because that is where the world started to collide. That is where the thinking, the thoughts, the silos needed to be broken down. And we didn't want to influence any thinking thoughts or mannerisms by showing the fight of NDMC in that space. We wanted the information I got. There were good debates in there. Some of the people are still being saw of some of the interactions that happened there and the communications that happened. Absolutely, there was learning curve, I'm told. It was in the room, it was a hot oven. It was where I come with my own inhibitions, I come with my own ideas, my thoughts, and I stand next to a national compatriot who comes with his own, who comes with his experience, and we begin to find what's the best way for us. So what is the guideline? They can do what is the best way for us to work together. And I believe that was an absolute learning curve for colleagues. We also then to recognize all international user teams are here. All of the international colleagues, some of them is not here today, some of them are here. In particular, evaluators, because I think we needed to have them to guide us along the way to test where we are good, where we are good, and what is it that we need to learn. Also, the national and local NGOs, the sector, this Institute of Nelson Mandela, thank you for allowing us to operate within the space together, to be able to come to a point where we can say that we have learned together, have come together, and we are going to be stronger together. So I want to leave you the following. Let's live here together. So when I see any one of the national faces, local faces at the partners next year, that we can take our discussions there, even to next level. Let us live here, build systems that will remain strong, even after we have gotten one another's names, even after we've landed in our place. Even if we leave the current service that we are in, let it remain strong. Let us build systems that can remain strong. Let us present beyond borders, continue to do that, and strengthen our relationships, and let us ensure that when our communities face challenges, adversities, and problems, whether it be a call to come into your area for help, whether it be a call from one province to another in this country, whether it be a call for yourself coming to our country, let us make sure we respond with speed, we understand one another with speed, we respond with discipline, and ultimately respond with unity. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to send sincere gratitude to everybody who contributed to this particular event. Tomorrow we will have our Deputy Minister for Traditional Affairs, the late this morning. He wants now to talk to, in a few moments, he's basically pointing to there's lots happening in my country with regards to gender-based violence and issues that in terms of our cabinet dealing with major issues there. My colleague that's flying this morning is fundamental some of those places as well. He'll be joining the MC. But Deputy Minister tomorrow, he'll bring a further message on top of this one in terms of the solidarity that we feel with you, the international community, and through that, us even go together as a local community, as a national community in this country, so that we can stand stronger and be that weak link in the chain. We want to be as strong, as good, and as efficient as you are. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm closing. I will speak until tomorrow morning. Someone doesn't stop me. But thank you very much for everything that is going to. If I did not thank anyone by name, by country, by any other expression, please know from our we sincerely appreciate. And there's nothing more that I would want to do the next days, day 1 to 5 in my professional here, other than be here and start with my team, together with our team, together with all of the local municipalities that are here process. And we thank everybody for that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was great. At this point, I'd like to close the final part of this program. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. Maybe let me also thank all the speakers that has just spoken, and also the director of the facilities, Mr. Kalonga. Thank you very much, sir. And I think, colleagues, we all heard from the mouth of all speakers that spoke before us. What I just say is just to say thank you to all of you. And then I don't want to start where it's just attended to, but I think when the people has done a good thing, they deserve to be end. Now, one thing is I'll just say one or two ways, not to say thank you in a way that the director has said, but maybe to specific teams and then to say to them that we appreciate all the efforts that we have made and then to be here. Especially maybe let's say team RSA01. Can we give them a round of applause? The thing is, they are the host. You know, when you tell them the criteria to be utilized, and that in terms of this exercise, and how many people they said, no. We could balance the host. And they did that. I know even during the planning, it's not easy, but managed to pull it through. Thank you very much, TRSA 01. Thank you very much. And then we do have also team with us. Maybe I don't know. John, can you please stand up? Your contribution to us is highly commendable. We really appreciate your efforts also to be here country. Do what you did the way you did. Round of applause. And I'm going to Malaysia, stand up. Colleagues, they came, even if there were two, they said no, they want to be part of this. And then I just want to say that we appreciate your presence also, and as a country, for what you've done. That you please tell them in Malaysia that assignment they gave you, and you did it. Thank you very much. We also have our SSA team here within ourselves. Stand up, please. This meant a lot to us as South Africa. And then I know that you'll be going back, I guess, on Saturday morning, if I'm not mistaken. And then please pass the message back home that we as South Africans, we really appreciate. Let it be only for today, even in the future when we will end and request for your company. And please say thank you very much. And we do have our colleagues from Russia in here. Gentlemen, we appreciate your presence also. And please pass the message home to President Putin to say, no, you're here. And you did what a country gave you as the mandate to. Tell him that we as South Africans, we salute you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then we do have our team from Kenya colleagues. Can you also give them a round of applause? Colleagues, we want also to say thank you to yourselves. And I think the message that you get home, and that is to say that you visited your brothers in country or continent here from abroad. You were the only neighbor when we heard that we were having this, and then we said that no, we are also. And then thank you very much for your contribution. And then what we can take home is also the very same appreciation. And then to say that we appreciate the presence here, the role we play, and please let it be in the future. Poland, can we please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, those two gentlemen or colleagues, they are playing a major role. That is what actually Mr. Clement Kalonga spoke about. And then to say that they came all the way from Poland, and then to definitely mentor a round of applause.
الاثنين اللي تحت بتروح عقب اللي عليهم نقاط بوكسات عقب اللي تحت.
So the first one is Teresa Geldenes. Are you going to repeat that? Sorry.
I will just point out the
Joking.
names and she will say it.
Okay, which one?
Does that work? Yeah.
Yapi Lenghuabala.
Yes, please. Good job, please. Simple way, dope. Simple way, dope.